Hello and welcome to the Gambling Files podcast, the podcast that is struggling to think of a witty intro. I'm one of your hosts, John Bruford, joined by your other host, Fintan Costello. Fintan, hello.
Hello, John.
It feels like it's been a while.
It's only been a week, isn't it?
Yeah, it has, but it just feels like it's been a while.
It's been a while, yeah. We've both been busy.
Yeah. Crazy times we live in. And a lot's been happening.
So, my big question is, obviously the rule is what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Yeah, that's the rule.
But what happened in Vegas, John? What'd you get up to?
Maybe we should talk about the gambling industry first, though. Just to keep our listeners on their toes.
Fair enough. Work. Nerd.
I am terrible, yeah. I'm renowned for it in the industry.
Your attention to detail, your ability to...
You won't believe this, but when I was a puppy, my attention to detail was like a big deal.
You've clearly just burnt out that muscle. Like it's or it requires so much like crushing pressure to like activate like your dopamine or whatever it is, whatever that fucking chemical, like your receptors for that are just frazzled. So the over the top pressure required to activate you is just would crush a normal man. That's all this is. You're just fucking the editorial Superman. That's all.
Yeah. Well, when I started out in publishing, I was a sub-editor and a production editor and all that jazz. So it was like picking up on mistakes and details was what I did all day, every day. I'm done with that now.
Tell me about it.
God almighty, Fintan.
Sorry, man. Sorry, I'm just pop up, slag you off, leave.
I think you might be the reason I'm unemployable.
I know, he's great.
It's like,
No, I'm pretty sure this is self-inflicted. I don't think this is me.
No, I've probably told this story on the podcast already, but years ago I worked for a guy. He was like a director at a company I worked at, and we crossed swords a few times.
Oh yeah.
Fair enough. And then he had a vacancy. He started another publishing company afterwards, and there was a vacancy. And I said, I'm available. And he said, great, come over. So I went and I worked for him directly for about 18 months or so. And it was a really, really demanding job. It was really very difficult with minimal resources, less than competent management, that kind of thing. Not casting any aspersions. And when I went to leave, I went to do some temping work at the local airport, actually, bizarrely. And I asked him if he would be a reference for me. And he said, yeah, sure. Great, thanks. So I had him as a reference and a guy that I'd worked with a few years before. And I applied for a job at a publishing company, 100 miles away or whatever. And they were really enthused and really, really, very enthusiastic to get me on board and all that jazz. And I thought, great, okay, this is in the bag. And then they phoned me and said, would you mind coming and doing a couple of months freelance for us as a trial, see if it's a good fit, etc. And I'm like, No, I'm not going to do that.
I'm not going to quit a job for a trial and bills to pay and all that kind of stuff.
They said, I'm not going to do this just in, we both know that I can quite clearly do this job. And if you have some misgivings, I guess that's fair enough. But, I definitely have the experience and the skills to do this. And I'm not going to come and spend 2 months in an expensive city just in case you fancy giving me a job. I'll go do something else instead. So I did. Anyway, years later, when I started working on Casino International, me and Paul Ryder were in, I think we were in Macau or somewhere, and we'd had a few beers, and Paul said, Chad, did I ever tell you what happened when I checked your references? I'm like, No. Oh, well, let me tell you this. And he tells me the story. And he says, so I phoned the first guy. It was a chap called Graham Kidd. Now, Graham was the launch editor of Computer Shopper and Mountain Biking UK and things like that. I mean, this guy was like a frigging god in the publishing industry. And I'd worked really closely directly for Graham for 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
And we did all the Sony PlayStation launch stuff together. You know, we did a lot together.
That's cool.
And Graham predictably gave me a fantastic reference. And then he phoned my other referee, who apparently said, no, I really wouldn't be happy giving you a reference. But off the record, and then proceeded to slag me off. Like, when I ask you if you'll be a referee for me, just fucking say no. As opposed to breaking all kinds of laws by doing what you do and thinking that off the record means that nobody cares.
I give the best references.
That's how you get rid of people, isn't it? I mean, but it was immensely frustrating because, see, at the time when I was trying to get that job, and when I was trying to get this other job later with eventually I got with Paul, I was homeless.
Jesus Christ.
And you just think, all right, you don't know my situation or anything, but fuck you. And anyway, it turns out all of the things that he said that that made me a terrible human being and awful to work with were exactly the qualities Paul was looking for to survive in the casino industry.
Funny. Yeah, I've only turned down one person where I'm like, not a good idea.
Okay.
Yeah. Because the thing is, you can be sued.
Yes, you can. If you do things like that nice man did, you can definitely be sued.
You can be sued. Like it's not a trivial, like it's fucking slander or something, right? Libel, slander, something like that.
It depends what form it takes, but yeah. I'm just waiting until I see him again. Yeah, but you remember that thing you did? Yeah. Let's chat.
I couldn't do it.
So that was a great experience. How did we get onto that? God.
You were talking about being unemployable, and it was my fault.
Yeah, it is. So anyway,
you're famous for attention to detail.
Proving it yet again. Now, while we've not been while I was in Vegas and all that jazz, so MGM is somebody's made an offer for the MGM whole thing,
Fertitta.
And somebody's made a offer for Caesars. Caesars is Fertitta.
Oh, Caesars and MGM is the IAC guys. So it's the Diller. It's Match.com and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. But
he's a smart guy.
There's a bunch of stuff here that I don't understand, right?
Go on.
Which might surprise you. But no, I was thinking about it, and I was talking this over with somebody while I was in Vegas. Over a plate of chicken livers.
Jesus.
I was just expecting a few, but there was a fucking mountain of them. And you're like, Vegas. What are you must hate chickens. Anyway. The Caesars deal, right? It's something like 5 billion cash, but assuming 11 billion in debt. Right. One thing. How the hell have they got 11 billion in debt? That's insane.
They've got their UFC money.
How much is that? Is that 11 billion worth?
Fucking, they sold... Did they sell their UFC stake to Endeavour or one of the things? Like, the guys behind it are loaded. Plus, they own casinos and stuff anyway. Their ability to go raise money is, like, not in doubt. Like, totally fine.
with Tillman and his friends.
The Fertitta guys.
Yeah. So they've got banks lining up to finance this.
Sure.
And I get that. However, what I don't get is I don't fundamentally I don't see the value in it. Like, he's a major shareholder in Wynn, right? Like, if I were going to buy shares in the casino industry today, say I had some money,
yeah,
I'd buy Wynn or Sands, maybe MGM.
I'm just looking up the Fertitta guys. Yeah, so.
Caesars is the one that I wouldn't touch, because Caesars, to me, is an absolute dog.
Right, Fertitta Entertainment. So they own Landry's, the Houston Rockets, and the Golden Nugget casinos.
Yep.
They've got a bunch of other random stuff. What's in the portfolio? Right, so they've 60% of Landry's, 60% of the Golden Nugget online. All the Golden Nuggets. Houston Rockets.
So they've got money.
They own an NBA team. Like, that alone, like the collateral of that alone, and the.
But what I don't understand is the value of the Caesars brand, right? Because it's irrelevant online, and I mean completely irrelevant online. They've dumped money into trying to get some traction. They've gotten absolutely nowhere. There was no point. They were way, way behind the curve. Where it's so far behind, it's hilarious. Caesars is irrelevant online. They've sold.
I'm going to challenge that.
Okay.
Caesars is absolutely a global casino brand.
No, it's not.
No. From a brand recognition, from a casino player's perspective, from a brand recognition thing, something like a Caesars, like, this is why BetMGM does so well as well, right? Caesars, BetMGM are, for casino players, are recognized brands. Now, have they, it's like, Playboy is a recognized adult entertainment thing. They completely missed the online adult industry type thing. But if Playboy had done things right, they'd be the biggest thing on internet porn. Just because it was literally the brand. I would argue with a Caesars, you could absolutely roll out a global online casino business with instant brand recognition and do very well.
And yet that didn't happen. Not even close.
Completely.
But here's the thing. You say global, I've got to contest that, because the Caesars portfolio outside North America was a few casinos in North Africa, I think 1 or 2 in Europe, and a couple in the UK. And that was it. Everything else is based in North America. Obviously, they've got a huge amount of property on the Strip. They've got more sort of locals casinos. They've got more regional casinos than.
Yeah, it's quite a lot of. I'm just looking at their Wikipedia. There's quite a lot of, like, Colorado, Arizona,
yeah,
California.
It's a very spread out portfolio.
Louisiana, Mississippi, Florida.
But
it's big portfolio.
But its relevance globally is hugely diminished. It does not have the value that an MGM has, or that a Sands has, or that a Wynn has. Look at how many properties Wynn has compared to Caesars, and look at their turnover.
Well, but that's the classic thing where, like, if you look at the luxury industry, right? If you're a Rolex or a Louis Vuitton, you're doing fine. But if you're a mid-tier luxury brand, you're struggling, right? So that kind of separation of, and that's where, particularly like in Vegas, like the high rollers business is fine. It's the mass market stuff that's struggling. And that was the Wynn thing as well. Just go, couple of concentrated bets, absolutely nail it.
Recognize your market.
But if I was buying Caesars, I'd go launch an online casino globally, like fucking first thing I do, and just go run that.
They do still have. I thought that they'd sold all the property to an REIT, and I was corrected on that in this conversation that I had. But apparently they've sold 2 of the Vegas properties, so there is still a serious lump of land in Vegas that they own.
Got it.
That you could probably realistically halve that debt with. Caesars has been sold, as in the land.
Yeah.
But that's still a serious amount of very, very valuable property that could be sold. So let's say they do that, but that still leaves you with $500 million in debt. $5 billion, $6 billion in debt. That's a lot of debt to be taken on, because when you're at that sort of level, it kind of climbs quite quickly. Just ask Manchester United. I don't know. I don't see the long-term value in it. They're not going to be breaking into the North American online market anytime soon. Player acquisition costs are just going. I mean,
well, if it's a casino, you're not going to break into sportsbook. It's casino. There's definitely,
they've missed a lot of boats there.
Yeah,
but the worst one they missed was Macau.
Yeah, true. These they're so smart.
I don't doubt it. That's why I'm saying there's something I don't understand and something that I'm missing in this.
It's definitely the Barry Diller guy was talking the MGM deal. He's like, look, in the age of AI, physical things are going to become more important. And he owns so much digital assets. He's at the absolute coalface of this. He owns all the dating websites and stuff online, and Tinder and Match. And
I think he's right. I have a friend who works as an analyst, and I said to him years ago while we were out on the lash, you must get asked all the time by people, where should I put my money? What should I invest in? And he always tells me the same thing: buy tinned food, because before too long, that's going to be the only thing that's worth anything.
Yeah, because he's got a massive magazine portfolio. He's got...
Who's this, Mr. Diller?
Yeah, he's got...
Isn't he ex-Disney?
Something like that, yeah.
Anyway, 2 huge deals, potentially. 2 landscape-changing deals.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the other things that you could do with the Caesars portfolio, they sold the EMEA stuff, and it's become Metropolitan, I think, now. And there's some really nice properties in there. Some really, really nice properties in there. I think Metropolitan did a very smart deal there. But one of the other things you could do is you could sell off the regional assets, because assuming that they're looking at some sort of global online domination plan, which I just don't see it, but assuming that they are, then the assets that are really valuable are Las Vegas, and that's about it. I don't think there's another Caesars in the world that has any reasonable recognition. It's not like, MGM's only got a couple of other casinos outside Vegas. Caesars casinos are friggin' everywhere.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I went to Vegas, right?
Cool. What happened?
And I was able to go to Vegas thanks to one of our sponsors, Gaming Laboratories International. Interestingly, they brought today's episode to you. GLI is a world-class testing, inspections and certification company committed to delivering the highest quality land-based lottery and iGaming testing and assessment services around the world. GLI provides suppliers, operators and regulators with expert guidance for navigating the future of gaming and ensuring gaming innovations meet regulatory standards with confidence in more than 710 jurisdictions. For more information, visit gaminglabs.com. 710 jurisdictions, though, Fintan.
That's a lot of jurisdictions.
It's almost as many jurisdictions as casinos Caesars have in North America. But I went to Vegas. I went to attend the University of Nevada, Las Vegas conference on risk and gambling.
Mm-hmm.
And I did that for the Addiction podcast that I host with Dr. Michael Auer, one of our other projects. Because we thought we could go and record episodes while we're there.
Amazing.
So
this is like the Super Bowl or like the World Cup of addiction research and stuff, right? Like this
yeah,
is really
yeah. So people present. You have like panel conversations. You have people presenting their research. You have all sorts of stuff. It's 3 days, and there are things on simultaneously all the time. So they present like, I can't remember if it's 3 tracks or 5 tracks of things, and it's busy. There must have been like a good few hundred people there. And there's like an open breakfast with a buffet. They really should just serve actual bacon, though, because turkey bacon, that stuff's just fucked up. It's just grim. It's just grim. And you have lunch together, and there's a keynote speaker during lunch.
Oh, that's cool.
It was really good, actually. It worked really well. Unfortunately, I only caught the first day, and that was a lady, she's a professor at MIT. And it was fucking fantastic. She was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And she was talking about the oh god, what was it? Something like the importance of luck in outcomes, and sports where luck is a lesser slice of outcome.
Oh, okay. So like, there's less luck in baseball versus soccer.
It's really interesting, it was terrific. And just, sometimes you hear people and you just think, you're so much smarter than me that I'm never going to talk to you, because I would feel shame for simply existing and being this stupid.
Oh, you should never feel like that. Never feel like that. Just ask some questions. What can you learn? It's brilliant. It's a great opportunity.
Yeah, but you should probably say something like, I'd be like, yeah, I've got a couple of questions for you. They're probably stupid. And she'd be like, there are no stupid questions. I'd be, hold my beer. Let's put that right. So I went to this, and it was a fantastic event, and I really, really enjoyed it. It was.
What was the most interesting speaker you saw?
Well, I really did love the MIT lady. I missed a lot of the actual presentations because I was recording.
Oh, okay.
But what was able to do, because we spoke to the organizer before we went there, so we were able to record in the media room, which was mostly quiet, and we were allowed to just approach anybody that had spoken or whatever. So I missed a lot of stuff, unfortunately. But I saw Dr. Auer's presentation.
Yeah, how did you get on?
Yeah, he did all right. Yeah, it's really interesting with his stuff because he's got experience and has worked as, and I guess still works as, a software provider for RG solutions. He's got access to data, and one of the big problems for research is access to data.
Yeah, sure.
So he's able to compare things that I don't think anybody else has been able to. So that was really interesting. But there was just...
But he is like the Michael Jordan of RG research as well, right? So it must be like...
I'm not telling him that you said that.
Did the lights dim as he walks in? Smoke machines go off.
He's wearing a silk robe.
Yeah, fucking crowd starts chanting, that kind of stuff.
Eye of the Tiger's playing.
Yeah. That's what I'm expecting. No, it'd be some heavy metal thing. It wouldn't be Eye of the Tiger. It'd be some sort of...
Oh, Eye of the Tiger crosses both.
Yeah.
But knowing him... Probably maybe Back in Black, something like that.
Ace of Spades.
Maybe. It's a great version of Ace of Spades that I found online, where it's Lemmy, obviously, Dave Grohl on drums, and Slash on the guitar.
Whoa, I've got to get that version.
But what's really fascinating about it is that you can see that Slash and Dave Grohl are quite clearly overawed being on stage with Lemmy. But it's amazing. Have you ever? I don't know whether you would have done this, but have you ever actually watched Lemmy play?
Not live, no.
Have I seen them live? I don't think I've seen them live. Nah, I'd remember that. He plays the bass like it's a rhythm guitar.
Oh, okay.
It's proper, like he's essentially strumming the bass. He's really smashing into it as well. And so when Motorhead, I think they played as a 3-piece for a while. When the guitarist comes into the solo on Ace of Spades, Lemmy just like starts beating the bass to fill the sound in the background. It's amazing. But anyway, I digress. So yeah, I went to Vegas. It's good.
So who did you interview?
Oh man, there's so many. I'll give you a flavour of who we've got coming on addiction. We've got, and I'm probably going to bundle these together because we couldn't really get an hour with anybody because that would have been a lot to ask at a conference. But we got it's some returning people that we'd had on the podcast previously who we caught up with. So we had Kazra Gaharian, who's the what is he? He's one of the directors of the UNLV International Gaming Institute. I caught up with Howard Stutz.
Oh, great. Friend of the pod.
Yeah, he's just such a lovely bloke. Such a lovely guy. We got a chap called Shane Krause. Now, Shane's doing some really, really interesting research, and we're going to have him on the podcast, I think, doing multiple things. But he's done a load of research into gambling addiction, amongst armed forces, service people,
Okay. Yeah.
both serving and veterans in the US, and it's really, really interesting. But he's also, and I'm seeing more and more people doing this at the moment. In fact, we've got it in another upcoming episode on addiction. There are people who are researching both types of eating disorder or types of disordered eating and gambling addiction because dopamine's at the center of both.
Yeah.
And that's really interesting because I can speak to somebody as a disordered eater. And that's really fascinating. That was really, yeah. So talk to Shane about the veterans. We had Simon Thomas of the Hippodrome fame. He was there.
Friend of the pod.
And he was his usual fantastic self, but he was talking about being a land-based operator and trying to take RG seriously. And Dan Waugh.
Oh yeah.
Yep, that Dan Waugh of Regulus, isn't it? Regulus Partners.
Yeah, he's got a really good newsletter.
Yeah, and he's like just fucking
So
super smart. Super. Yeah. He could have a conversation with a lady from MIT. Anyway, and we had I'm going to hopefully get her name right. Tracy Scran.
Okay.
Tracy was she explains it much better in the interview, but she's where is she? Newfoundland, somewhere like that, Canada, and they introduced a type of gaming there decades ago that nowhere else was doing, and so they got all this totally unique data, and she's been working on the RG side of that for many, many years. She's a really, really interesting lady. We got Alan Feldman, who's senior at University of Nevada, Las Vegas, and is one of the main people behind the conference we were at. And again, super smart dude. And that's a really interesting interview. Sarah Nelson, who we'd had on the Addiction podcast before, she's at Harvard in their research center, and she's brilliant. She's an absolute ball of energy. She also recently did her first 100-miler.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
She's a ball of energy.
Yeah. Yeah. And John Cohen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so John was shortlisted for the Gambling Book Awards, inaugural awards.
He was, yeah.
And lovely fella, and he's now working for I know I'm going to get this wrong one day. The Men and Boys Association of America. I think it's called, as their basically their RG education kind of bloke.
Makes sense. The gambling addiction in high schools and colleges is huge. Right?
Yeah, so he's getting stuck into that, and I mean, it's
Cool.
genuinely, it's always nice to talk to him. He's a very funny man as well, on the sly. Very funny man.
Not surprised.
So that's what's that? That's a bunch of stuff that we got there. We've also got some other stuff lined up. People that we met there that we couldn't do immediately, but we're sorting out with them. So yeah, in short, we've got several episodes done.
Cool.
But is that really what you wanted to know, Fintan? Or did you want to know what happened when I went to my hotel?
What happened when you went to your hotel, John?
It wasn't good, Fintan.
Sorry, I've just realised I've got a call in 8 minutes. Sorry, that's why my thing dinged. Go on, what happened to your hotel?
You're just so busy.
You wouldn't believe.
So I turned up at my hotel. I was staying at the Orleans in Las Vegas.
Okay.
Never stayed there before. So I turn up and it's about 10 o'clock Saturday night. It's taken me about 17 hours door to door. And I am fucking tired. And I get to the front desk and the dude says to me, hello, can I help you? Yeah, I've got a reservation. Here's my passport, John Bruford. Now, I've got your reservation in front of me. Don't worry about that. And I just said, why the fuck would I be worried about that?
Uh-oh. My spidey senses are tingling.
Yeah.
This isn't good.
Big time. So he says, like, yeah, I've got your reservation. That's all fine. Yes, I know. I'm just going to try and find a room for you. I'm like, in my head, I've got Yoda saying, do or do not. There is no try. Anyway, he finds me a room. Phew. And then says, I just need you to come down in the morning with all your stuff and change rooms. And I'm like, why? Oh, sales, they block book things, they do this, they do that. I said, yeah, but with all reservations being equal, and I booked this months ago, it's not like I've just walked in and surprised you. You know, I'd rather just not do that. And they said, no, I'm really sorry. I said, well, I'm really fucking pissed off. I said, I don't want to be that customer, but this is just really fucking annoying.
I'm going to barricade the doors. It's going to take a SWAT team to get me out tomorrow.
Well, you definitely don't say that in Las Vegas.
Yeah, true.
Fuck. It's like joking about the explosives in your luggage at the airport. We've all been there. So I was fucking pissed off, and I was meeting a lunch meeting the next day at 11:30, and the guy's like, come down about 11. I'm like, I've got a meeting at 11:30. Well, you can come down earlier, but we might not have a room for you then. I'm like, you fucking better have a room for me whenever I get here. Anyway, so I go down, I see somebody else, and she said, get this, she said, okay, as a gesture of goodwill, we've cancelled the resort fees on your room last night. I'm like, I got here at 10 o'clock at night. So assuming that ticks over at midnight, you refunded my resort fee for the 2 hours I was here. It's like, if you want to do something, make it something meaningful. Don't make it bullshit. Anyway, it gets worse. The hotel is being renovated. No mention of that when I make my booking. No mention of that at the fucking desk. There are a couple of signs up. I do read them. I think, great, I bet they're renovating my floor. Of course they were. Anyway. Things get renovated. I get it. It's fine. It wasn't a big headache particularly. But what was quite annoying is, so on I think it must have been the Monday morning, room service come in and they sort everything out, and I get back in and the bed's made and everything's lovely, right? Tuesday, nothing. But the bin's been emptied. I'm like, what the fuck? Okay. Somebody's been in the room. Maybe I've got a bin thief. I don't know. Maybe they're after my used floss, the perverts. So I phone housekeeping, and they said the operator actually put me through to reception. She said, "No, you want to talk to reception about this?" I'm like, do I? Okay. So I go through to reception, and they say, "Oh, we only do the turn down and all of that every other day. You're due for that tomorrow." I'm like,
caught out by this. Yeah.
I'm like, are you fucking serious? Yeah. Well, since when? Oh, about 18 months now. I'm like, what? Okay, I guess. The next day, it doesn't happen. Right? So I phone the desk, and I get a different lady, and I say, your colleague said this happened every other day, but it hasn't happened today. I wonder if you get... And this is no word of a lie. The lady on the phone said, no, she didn't. I said, she definitely did. Or I wouldn't be calling you now. I'm not doing this to be obtuse. I'm doing it because that's the information I was given. Well, it's every 3 days.
Wow.
And I thought to myself, I'm staying here for 6 nights. Basically, by the time I left, my bed had been made once.
You've had to change rooms.
I've had to change rooms, and I've paid a fucking resort fee for what exactly?
Yeah, that's crazy.
So the resort, let me just look something up here. Just give me 1 second. I know you're busy, but...
No, that's okay. I got called a liar by a KLM staff a few weeks ago. I was flying to...
Australia.
Birmingham. No, different flight. Flying to Birmingham for a thing. Basically, black tie. I had a dinner jacket and stuff with me, and I had it in a suit bag. And I got on the plane. I was like, "Hey, can I pop this in the wardrobe, little coat cupboard?" And she's like, "Sir, we haven't had a coat cupboard on our planes for years." Right? And she's laughing and whatever, like the most ridiculous thing she's ever heard. And I went, on the plane that you use from Amsterdam to London City Airport, there absolutely is a coat cupboard because I have used it repeatedly. And she goes, "No, you haven't. We don't have those on our airplanes." And part of me was like, fuck it doesn't matter. Like, I fly to fucking London every couple of weeks. I know exactly what's on the plane. I know the menu off by heart. I know exactly what's on
And going into London City, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, of course. Right?
What an airport
just,
there is.
It's the Boeing versus the Airbus or whatever, so it's just the plane she hasn't flown on. But yeah, just being like, it really, like, huh, okay.
We're going straight there, are we?
Wow.
The resort fee at the Orleans Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas is £46.32 per night. $46.32 per night, right? So I'm paying $46 for bog standard Wi-Fi. It wasn't good. Oh, I could pay extra if I wanted something that would work. And I guess I could use the pool. Oh, I could use the fitness center and seasonal pool. Access to the business center, because everybody uses those these days. I need access to that fax machine. Self-parking and valet parking, unlimited local and toll-free calls, and an in-room safe.
Wow. They charge you for the safe. That's
According to this.
access to the car park.
I mean, that's
a rip-off. That's a rip-off. Bullshit.
It's fucking obscene. But hey, I got it refunded for that first night for both those hours.
But keep in mind, housekeeping wasn't on that list.
No, housekeeping was not on that list. They should take a chunk of that and give it to housekeeping. Assuming they have any staff in housekeeping. The whole experience was just shit. Like, I've been to Vegas about 25, 26 times. And that whole, you need to change rooms things, that's never happened before.
I've been messed around that with a late check-in. You do run the risk of getting messed around if they've overbooked or they've taken some walk-ins. So the top traveler tip there would be email ahead and make sure they know I'm going to be checking in around 10, 11 o'clock at night. Make sure my room's available. And because I've been caught out, like you right, there's no room. There's not even about moving you around. It's just like all the rooms are gone. Fuck your booking. So messaging ahead, like I will be taking that room. Don't give it away. Is the top tip there.
As opposed to assuming that because you've made the booking and you've prepaid the whole thing, it's safe.
Yeah.
But I've yet to review them online.
That'll be a fun one.
Yes, it will. I won't be holding back. And you know, there wasn't much there that was good value. It was, but I did drive from Las Vegas into Arizona.
Cool.
And that was pretty sweet. That was lovely. Yeah, we are recording video as well, just so you know, Fintan.
I don't care.
Okay.
Sorry, John.
It's okay. Just before you go, Fintan, would you mind just mentioning our other sponsors?
I would love to thank World Gaming, the bringers of IGB London.
Beautiful people.
Can't wait to go. Fully booked now. With lots going on. I'd also like to thank the wonderful people at Optimove.
Optimove.
The bringers of positionless marketing.
Positionless.
Which just lets you do far more more efficiently. So go get the demo. It's brilliant.
Tell them we sent you, because then apparently you can get a month free, which is
exactly so
pretty nice.
It's and it helps with renewals, and
yeah. Okay, Fintan, you go and be a busy executive. I might have a little lie down.
All right, enjoy. Speak later.
If you've enjoyed this episode of the Gambling Files podcast, please find us on LinkedIn. Give us a big, juicy, succulent like. That nearly went wrong. You can find us under the name The Gambling Files Podcast. You can find us on Twitter under The Gambling Files. I think the handle is just @GamblingFiles. You can connect to myself, John Bruford, or Fintan Costello, also on LinkedIn. We're also both on Twitter. And you can find all of our previous episodes at www.thegamblingfiles.com. If you enjoyed it, please share, tell your friends, tell your family, tell your colleagues, and we'll see you next time.